Good morning, everyone. That was weak. Good morning, everyone. So I am a CMO, and I have stood here and realized I've exceeded the norm. So I'm now in my job 25 months. So I'm beyond the norm. First, on behalf of MGM Resorts, welcome, and we appreciate and respect your time and the fact that you've chosen Las Vegas as your destination and a place to host this great event. I've been asked this morning to speak about the resurrection of consumer loyalty. It's interesting, and when you hear our comments and you see our presentation, I'm going to really structure it around and tell you our story, because probably if there's ever a company that was enlightened, it was ours in the context of loyalty. Two points of interest. We didn't have a CMO 3 years ago. 2.5 years ago, we didn't have a CMO. My role is new, and 58% of our core revenues, those being gaming, meaning what you would all sit here and think, oh, they're in the gambling business, and I'll speak to that in a moment. We're not. But 58% of those revenues are driven by 4% of our customers. Think of that business model. So suddenly you get very focused on loyalty, you get very focused on who you are, and really what you need to be going forward. So I'm going to briefly talk about loyalty in the past, moving forward with loyalty specific to our company, and just the overall thought process and what we've gleaned from a lot of activity, a lot of research over the last couple of years. We are a very, very data-rich company. Our challenge has been, I think like most large companies, what to do with that data. How do you deploy it? How do you exploit it? How do you send out to millions and millions of customers who do millions of transactions literally every day something that's meaningful? And then ultimately walk you through our journey. This is not cooking. Thank you. Customer loyalty. How do we look at it? And you can, and again, this will make this presentation available after for anybody who might want it, because there's going to be a lot of detail in it, or if you can't see it. But customer loyalty is about attracting the right customer. Remember my equation, 4%, 58% of our revenue. But it is not our entire story. We are not in the gambling business. We're not in the gaming business. We are in the entertainment experience business, and it comes to us from all kinds of places and all kinds of different ways. You are sitting here today in the 5th largest convention center in America. It is a key component of who we are as a company. It's a critical component of what this property represents to the industry and ultimately to our company. But there are many, many ways to attract it. And if you think about what we were doing historically, we had great brands, and you all know our brands, but the majority of you in this room probably sitting here today couldn't tell me all of the properties this company owns and what we all represent. So I'm going to walk you through that story and where we are with that evolution. Look back in times. Some of you have probably didn't know this. I learned this doing a little bit of history. First signs of loyalty. In the old days, you could buy a bushel of corn, and they would earmark how much you came. Pardon the pun. They would earmark how much you came. They would give you 1, 2, or 3 ears of more corn. If you were frequent, more frequent, or the most valued customer, they would dump it on you. I can remember as a child sitting in my grandparents' kitchen and doing S&H green stamps and posting those so that they could go back down to the store, and a couple of you are nodding your head, and go back down to the store and obviously exchange those for goods and services. But really, loyalty didn't take shape, as you all know, and as we know it today in its current form, until the 80s with American Airlines. They introduced the Advantage program. You all know what it is today. And it has been, without a doubt, the foundational cornerstone of loyalty and the way everyone looks at loyalty. And we're going to challenge some of the ways we look at loyalty when I speak to a couple of my comments. And then we have, as it migrated into the 90s, more modern-day programs. And when you think about those programs, you think about a couple of things that have happened to us. You got to think about a lot of them have become ubiquitous. They're all kind of the same. We would suggest that each one of you probably has, particularly in this room, 13 to 14 loyalty cards in your pocket right now, or some sign up for them. And I'd envision to tell you that probably 2 or 3 of them matter. That's how I work. I'm sure that's how the majority of you work. And so the question becomes, in a society that's become ubiquitous, in an environment that carries a huge liability called point liability to it, how do we succeed? How do we cut through it? And how do we take an experience like Las Vegas, and it is truly an experience, and make it meaningful so that one of those 2 or 3 cards becomes a lifestyle card for something that everyone would and could interact to and react to? So as we've moved forward, we went back and we looked at some very basic things. Clearly, everyone is doing loyalty today, or just about everyone. Loyalty program, we think, is reaching maturity in its current form and context. And so I think the challenge for all of us, particularly as you looked and heard from some of the millennials a couple moments ago, is how do you format it? How do you change it? How do you make it now? They are impatient, and I can tell you folks who come to Las Vegas are very impatient. You know, in Disney, they say, let's bundle it all in the week, and they program you as much activity as they can get you to do in advance in a week, they win. In Las Vegas, by its very nature, you think, I'm going to go, and I'm just going to casually enjoy these experiences as they confront me. We have to grab that, corner that, and be able to package it in such a way that it doesn't feel like a traditional loyalty program, but that it has meaning to folks. For us, and you can see a line down here, customers need to know the wow factor to stay interested. We need to understand what the wow factor is for customers, anyone who offers an experienced product. Obviously, in our environment, we're not selling toasters. We sell an experience. We have this rich, great platform to sell it on. Probably many of you would be envious of the kind of tools and toys we have around here to do this in. But at the end of the day, everybody is different, and reaching them with a wow could be as different as picking somebody up in Hong Kong in a fancy BBJ jet, because it's a wow to that person, to getting a gentleman with his 4-year-old kid a line pass down at Circus Circus so they can get on the roller coaster. It is about personalization and determining what the wow is. And obviously, to do that, and to do it in a now environment where no one's patient, particularly in Las Vegas, it will be about how we deploy technology going forward. So let me walk you through a little bit of our journey. Those are all of our brands. I would be reasonable to suggest that if I'd asked you to name 6 of them sitting here, and some of you have been exposed to Las Vegas, obviously been here, you probably wouldn't know they're all associated to MGM Resorts International. We grew rapidly throughout the 90s. We went through 2 major acquisitions, and we ended up with a great collection of brands, particularly centric to Las Vegas. Good news, bad news, as the economy faltered, not so good news. And some of them were designed to compete with each other. But we thought at the time the collective good of buying them was in our best interest, and so we moved forward and did that. But as the new chief marketing officer 10 years ago, I probably won't make it 10 years. That's 2 years ago, the challenge was, what do we do? How do we present this? How do you represent it? And how do you do it in such a fashion as not to destroy, when I say Bellagio, what it means to people, the romance that it entails, the thoughts that come around MGM and the championship fights and the entertainment and the wow factors that we represent are critical that we don't lose that. And so I'll walk you through in a moment the structure we went through to do it. But we had a loyalty program at its core. And like most gaming companies up until recently, the basis of the loyalty program was based around slots. In its most traditional form, our customers enjoyed playing slots. Those that are loyal use a card. Those that are loyal get recognized. But our program, I think like many that we still see, not only in our industry but other industries, lacked a couple of key ingredients. It wasn't aspirational. It doesn't take a rock star in loyalty to go look at American Express and understand that tiering, if done effectively, productively, and thought through, and understood by your customers with their input, can be very aspirational. What motivates them to want to go to the next step? Ours was single-dimensional. And it wasn't transparent. The mystery of gaming was such that I made you come up to me in a booth and say, what do I have? Where am I at? What do I get? And so we didn't tell people what they got. And so it was quick and easy to us to understand that we needed to transform our very core program, and we needed to do it very quickly. We went out. What a surprise. We talked to our customers. We talked to them at all levels and every level. I mean, we represent a product that literally starts at Circus Circus. You can buy $29 rooms in December, to we have suites that we spent $7 million on constructing. And you can appreciate the folks that come into those can lose up to millions of dollars on a single trip. We talked to all of them about what they wanted to see in a loyalty program, and not just a loyalty program. More specifically, the question is, what do you want to see in your loyalty program? And so we went through a great deal of research on that. What we came up with was a couple things. You may have noted earlier, I may have said MGM Resorts, but up until recently our company was called MGM Mirage. and it was simply the emergence of MGM and Mirage Resorts when we did the acquisition. Well, that wasn't very clear. People thought we had two properties that represented our company, and so we changed the brand to MGM Resorts International because we simply thought it, and we studied it extensively, thought it more represented who we are and what we are. A resort company, internationally based. We have a lot of energy and effort now going into Asia and India that had these great assets, so that we didn't overpower them. And there's nothing wrong with Hilton or Hilton Honors. It's a great hotel chain, a great program. We came up with a lifestyle brand, a loyalty brand called M Life. And obviously it plays off of MGM Resorts, and it plays off of lifestyle. And then off of that umbrella brand, we tied a bunch of assets, of which I'll walk you through some of the basics of here in a moment. I want to show you real quickly, though, the challenge we faced in terms of the environment and what we are and who we are, because it's just fun to do. So if I could show the, quote, sizzle reel. And so the challenge is evident. If you look right below the logo, we've got 12 brands of recognition here. We have 3 other regional casinos. We have stuff in Macau that we have open in MGM Grand Resort there. We're developing others internationally. How do we get it into an environment that's meaningful to our customers where, yes, they enjoy Bellagio, but the experience extends beyond it? But having said that, and I'll give the simple example, I want a great steak dinner. There's a place, if any of you have experienced, called Prime in Bellagio. It's a Jean-Georges restaurant, one of the finest restaurants anywhere, and it happens to feature steak. But we have 5 other notable steak restaurants that literally our James Beard Award-winning chefs represent them. And so the trick is, okay, I've done that last night. Tomorrow night, how do I let the consumer know that MGM, or more appropriately Mandalay Bay, is part of the same company, and that I can get recognized for my activity and rewarded for my activity, and I can extend something that is meaningful, and I can do it now. We want to take the environment and the experience and make sure it extends beyond the property that you're staying at, and we want to ultimately take the experience and take it beyond the simple fact that when you're in Las Vegas, it's the only time you can enjoy these benefits. And so we've taken our program and grown beyond what it is through partnerships, which I'll explain as we go forward. But our brands, we think, transcend place. They're about experiences. They're about memorable events. Were you at the fight when Oscar de la Hoya did this? Gee, I went to Vegas and was at this amazing concert and saw this amazing show. Gee, have you seen O? I enjoyed this one-on-one dinner with the chef backstage. It is about, for us, creating amazing, unique moments that people remember and carry forward. How did we look at it? This is pretty critical, and this is not a new concept. In fact, this isn't even our concept, but it's pretty straightforward stuff. But I think if you're thinking about your loyalty program and how to reconstruct it or even to begin one, you need to think from the center in. Why am I doing this, and what am I trying to accomplish? And so we thought about, well, at the end of the day, having talked to enough customers, quantitative, qualitative research, They come to Las Vegas by and large, because by and large it's a leisure destination. About 80% still come for leisure. They want to be wowed. They want an experience. They want it to be memorable. That's tough to do with a loyalty program. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a card. What do you do? But we didn't lose and we haven't lost focus on that. How do we do it? Let's talk, and we talked our way through personalization. What are all of the things that we're going to do to make this a personalized place for somebody? Access is big here. If I can get through that velvet rope, we have a campaign, you stand on the other side of the velvet rope, mlife.com. It's simple in Las Vegas. It is about access. Everyone is a VIP, defining and understanding that experience and translating it and relating it. And then a moment for everyone. I explained one earlier with the gentleman who wants to get a line pass to get his kid on the roller coaster. We have moments at the other end of the spectrum where if it's your birthday, your wife can bring you lakeside at Bellagio, and if your favorite song is something from the Rolling Stones, we can have and will program the fountains at Bellagio to do your favorite Rolling Stones song. Let me tell you something. You go home, you remember that for a lifetime. That's what our loyalty program is trying to do. It goes beyond points and tier credits. Although we have them and we need them, it's designed to go beyond that. And then ultimately, what are we? Understanding what we are and what we have to offer. So it's why, how, and what. Start from the center, work your way out. Again, I articulated this earlier, who we are, what we are. It's a lifestyles reward program. How we do it and how we think about it is kind of interesting. In Detroit, Michigan, we have a casino. It's basically a locals casino. Our best customers come 88 times. So we're pretty frequent. We know them. We intimately engage with them. They probably know their host. There's a one-to-one personalized relationship. In Mississippi, which are regional casinos, they come less. The average great customer comes about 13 trips. In Las Vegas, the average customer comes 5. But remember my first number I gave you. That's 4% of our customers. The other 96% of them come 1.1 time. So our mission, our job, our design of our program, I'm not going to make someone come to Las Vegas a second time, probably. It's a focus, it's a desire, but what I really want to do is wallet share. While you're here, I want to capture you within our kingdom. We literally own 12 resorts. We basically own this side of the strip. And I want to make sure you stay within MGM Resorts environment and you enjoy, because we have all kinds of things for you to enjoy, everything you want to do with us. And the way to do that is through personalizing it and making the response to your desires instant. So imagine the technology behind you're walking around with your iPhone. You've just bought your second Cirque ticket. I recognize you like Cirque. And I send you an email message that says, tomorrow night is our guest. By the way, we have some extra seats at CA, which is the MGM show. Why don't you enjoy the show on us? That is what we're striving to do. That is the platform we are currently building, and we're well down that missive to get that accomplished. But it's essential to what will work here. It's the only thing that will work here when your visitor interacts with you or your guest or your loyal customer 1.1 times. I think I've reiterated this. Start with the experience. Offer instant gratification. It is about now. It's about each trip being its own reward. And you heard that. I couldn't have set that up better for myself. The Millennium spoke to that. I'm impatient. I want it now. And so our programs, our structure, and our design, and it's a lot of technology and frankly money, is geared towards that. And allow guests to connect. The last thing that's on here is something that we're all playing with. You're all doing it in social. We're doing it. Is tribal marketing. Las Vegas is a great destination for people coming in groups. You think about what you come, whether it be a convention, which is an obvious one, but we have bridal, what do they call it? Girls run around, wedding, what do they call them? Bachelorette parties. Guys' weekends, March Madness is a zoo around here. People come to Vegas in groups. It is ideal and ripe for tribal marketing. And if you're going to be the lead, you're going to get 10 of your friends to come, I want to create an environment for the company where you're going to come and you're going to get recognized and your friends are going to get recognized through a portal and through a loyalty program that enables you to do that. And I'll show that to you in a minute. I'll quickly go through this because I'm conscious of time. And again, we'll make this available. We evolved through the Players Club program. The other thing that's interesting about our business that you might find fascinating, in Las Vegas, 73% of our revenues are non-gaming. 73% of our revenues are non-gaming. So we are, I said it earlier, we're in the entertainment business. we're not in the gambling business. We're in the experience business, and we recognize that. And so next month, we're launching a program that not only captures your gaming spend, but your total spend. And so that ultimately with that data, we can tailor programs that attract you on a personalized one-to-one basis. We are redesigning our website to speak to that and to be able to deploy against that. And ultimately, through a whole bunch of hard work and some PhDs we brought on board, we are getting down to predictive modeling of who you are, what you do. We study it intimately, and we proposition and offer you things based on your prior and what we think you are most likely to do going forward. It's a fascinating science. At this scale, we're so data rich, if you think about everything we do and how you interact with the company, that we're very, very ripe for this, and we're very excited by what we think it can bring. The MLife program itself, it's a tiered program. What I think is important about this, I want to show you something in a second, is it's all-encompassing. We have surrounded you with it when you get here, even more so now that we're going to go into non-gaming. Some of you may have seen, and if I could run this video, there's a 30-second clip when you go in-room. It is CMO job number one is loyalty. And so if I could run this little MLife TV clip. That's Didier, by the way.
Hello everybody, I'm Didier Snyder and welcome to MLife TV, your key to everything the MGM Resorts have to offer. MLife gives you the scoop. In this episode, you'll go face to face with some of the world's most dangerous creatures. Find out where superstar choreographers Tabitha and Napoleon hang out when in Vegas. Discover life at the top in an Aria Sky villa. And see what a makeover from stylist to the stars Christoph can do for you. With MLife, it's yours. Become a member of MLife and the benefits get even better. MLife gives you exclusive access to 15 of the world's finest resorts and casinos. To learn more, stay tuned right here. This is MLife TV.
So nowhere in there did you hear tier credit, did you hear points, did you hear a true value proposition. I think we understand who we are and what we're trying to sell, and I think that's a critical component to any loyalty program, and it doesn't mean selling toasters is bad or wrong or anything along that line. It doesn't mean monetizing points into free play, which we do frequently here, is a bad idea. But what is important, I think, and if there's any one thing you could take from the exercise we are going through here and the journey we're going through here, is understanding who we are and how we want to leverage our program and utilize it. The other thing that happened in Las Vegas, and you all know this, or most of you know because it happened everywhere in the world, but it happened here in spades. Our company went from making $2.4 billion in cash a year to $1 billion. So think about that. And by the way, our rent was $1.1 billion. So it's been a tough couple of years, but we've begun to quickly and slowly climb our way out of it and we are completely tied to the U.S. economy. When you get 40 million visitors and you own half of Las Vegas, we are the U.S. economy in the context of our business. But we began to approach it a little bit differently, and now through MLife and our program, we're going to offer up things differently. Looking back over the last couple of years, and even to this day, people don't want to feel guilty. And when you think about Las Vegas, we always used to market as recession-proof and as a place to escape. We need to get back to that. And so you can see, if you see any one of our ads, and I apologize, this one's very hard to see, but it's simply about spending is okay. And it opens up and tells people it's okay to come back. And then we've gone from excessive over the top to escape and reward, a key loyalty component, a key ingredient. And you can see this really run as a thread throughout all of our advertising. The other thing that's a thread is I mentioned moments. If you become an MLife member, we offer up any one of 10 moments in any one of our properties that you can transact with. You can say, I want to enjoy that, whether you can see some of them here. At this property, you can literally swim with the sharks, something I've done. I wouldn't recommend it. It's crazy. But you can do many, many varying things, and it is about trying to create something that's rich, unique, and something we can tie to MLife. And then the one thing I wanted to show you before I open up for questions is the social aspect of it. This website launches next week. We talk about it in the personalization persona of you and yours, and so you can see how it reads across. You can see some of the activity lines. and what to push on. But what's unique about it is it will offer up through predictive analytics your offers. It will offer up the shows we think you want to see, and it will offer up moments that you have qualified for based on your behavior. And the second piece I mentioned earlier, it will enable you to put together, this happens to be my golf weekend, it will enable you to put together a trip and then send it to your friends. And it's very hard to see, but you can, right below those little pictures, is I've sent it to Jan, Steve, and Marty, and Jan declined, but Steve and Marty are coming. And so I've opened up my experience in my world to them so they can enjoy it, and ultimately we're going to leverage on it through our loyalty program. And we recognize not only Bill for putting the trip together, but you for coming as well. My last piece, we all do this. This is not germane to our industry, but what's unique about it is lifestyle being able to take the brand home without a platform that was across our entire enterprise prior to MLife and the new revision. We didn't have anything to leverage on. We now have a platform, so we are out seeking unique hotel partners. We have a couple of cruise partners we've lined up, lifestyle partners, a company called SBE, great example, largest nightclub operator in LA. Things that are relevant to our customers and things that hopefully have meaning when they leave our four walls. And I can tell by your standing up I've gone over, so I will open it up, I guess, for any questions.
Yes, sir.
Has been, yeah. There can be, but surprisingly not as much as you would think. Give you a general overview. We'll spend between 30 and 40% of what we believe our expected margin to be back reinvestment in terms of some marketing tool, whether it's sending a jet or down to rewarding points for somebody playing a slot machine at Circus. It's not, look, we have issues. There's always issues. And customers aren't as friendly and nice when they're losing as when they're winning. But, you know, the odds on a Baccarat game are 1.2% in the house's favor. There's a lot of winners. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, we win more than we lose, or we wouldn't be in business. But, and people at that level, that's not their first rodeo generally. They get it, they've done it. They don't come to Las Vegas, blow $3 million and go, oh, I shouldn't have done that. They generally have probably done that before. Or if they do, shame on them.
Probably have time for one more, if anybody has one. I'll wrap it up with one additional question, if you don't mind. Sure. I think that you talked about access and the importance of making customers feel like VIPs, and I think the casino industry, and you guys in particular, do that better than anybody. And I'm just wondering, you know, retailers, and I think people outside of this industry kind of struggle with how to make customers feel that way. And if you were to say, wake up tomorrow morning and suddenly you're the CMO of a major retailer, are there any lessons or best practices from this business that you think they could?
Very simple keyword, personalization. Own them, know them. If I had 10 sales associates, I'd say, who are your top 10 customers, your top 10 customers, your top 10 customers. We have visitor profiles at a hosted level where I know what baseball team you like. I know what baseball team your kid likes. I know what your daughter does. If I'm doing my job correctly, I know everything there is to know about you, including whether I should issue you credit or not. But personalization is critical to our top-end business. Those 4% of our customers, we have a very rich database. And as much as technology is great, and the mobile example I gave about Show and Cirque, at that level it's about I know you, you know me, and I know what motivates you. And so if I'm Louis Vuitton and I know that somebody, you know, wants the newest, latest thing, and they're always getting the newest, latest, I better be on that phone in a hurry.
Yep.
Personalization.
Yep. Great. So hopefully you guys are all writing
Thank
this down.
you.
Thanks a lot, Bill.